Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. Getting ready to do this NXT review on 7-Eleven. And I'm not drinking a Slurpee here. They're all getting ready for the Great American Bash. And they come out with Judgment Day right out of the gate. And of course, they had a little problem with the pyro. And they had it on SmackDown also. So little problems there. I don't know if they had to hire some local guys or they weren't union. I don't know, but normally not the case. But you did have the crowd cranking up and hollering "Mummy" and for Mummy for Rhea Ripley. And they were hollering, of course, "Welcome back" for all the veterans back to NXT. And Finn gets the stick and he says, "Daddy's home." And a good little start. You know, they give a little history, and then, of course, they got to bring Trick and Melo out. Now, when they bring Trick and Melo out, of course, the crowd is going, when Trick gets to talk, it's going, "Whoop that Trick." All right, so that has a Memphis origin. I was actually on site when they were filming the movie where that was used. We use it our pro basketball team, the Memphis Grizzlies. They use that during commercial breaks and different stuff. And then my beloved Memphis Tigers, men's basketball team, they use that also. So and Penny lets them, so that's good. So yeah, so it's a great match, and even actually later on in the show, they do during their match when they come out later on in the main event, the crowd does it in a different tempo. It's like "Whoop that Trick." I don't know if they're tired or they're mocking or however it may go, but this is all setting up for the main event, which is going to be Melo and Trick versus Finn and Priest. And of course, Rhea is going to walk around with Dom and do her thing during this show. But good little start. You know, good little start. That Trick does tell Mr. Priest, "Don't write a check that his butt can't cash." And that was funny to me. That was just personally funny, I thought. And, you know, and Melo did mention that Vin was on the Mount Rushmore of NXT. So, good little start there. Good little start. Yeah, Tony D's out next. And they got Tony D in jail doing a broadcast from jail. Okay, yeah, that happens all the time. And, of course, he's waiting on a steak that one of his buddies is making, and it's chow time, so he has to hurry up. And, folks, let me make sure, in case anybody thinks that's glorified, it don't happen that way. But anyway, they asked Tony D, "What do you think about the match?" He don't know. What do you think about, what do you think's going to happen? Is Tony D going to betray you? He don't know. What's the weather like there? He don't know. You know, Tony just don't know. So they go after that to a Chase U, Andre Chase and Mr. Duke Hodgson going against Gulak and Dempsey. And you know what you're going to get out of Gulak and Dempsey. They're solid. They're just, I mean, Dempsey, if Regal was still, Anyway, if Regal could get him and they could get him another guy, I think he could make a good tag team out of him. He's a really good. He's just like a headlock into a submission, arm bar into a submission, a freaking ankle lock into a straight back submission. I mean, Dempsey is really good. Gulak should be the better of the two. I personally like Dempsey, but yeah, they got them two going up against him, and man, not a bad match at all. Not a bad match at all. They get going pretty hard and heavy at first. Yeah, some of the moves were just really just bare basic that they make look good. So you've got Andre looking better than I've seen him in a while. I said that it wasn't the best, but close to the best. I can't remember when the best I've seen him, but and Duke with the hurricanranas and everything. Anyway, good match, good solid. Thea ends up getting an arm bar or arm, whatever you wacky kids call it nowadays, on Gulak, and that keeps him on the outside. Which allows a double team of Dempsey, and they're able to pull off the win. So and then you've got Braun doing a promo where he's pretty much saying that he didn't even know, Dragunov wasn't even on his radar. He wasn't even, studying him. And so he blames Dragunov. And so that is setting up a match later tonight. Let me see. After that, we've got a little deal with Von Wagner and Mr. Stone. Still going back over that picture. Still going back over the history. And, hey, I'm hoping they pull something out of this. I'm hoping. But we go into a Cora Jade match with Kelani Jordan. Miss Jordan is with everybody. Calm down. She's with Dana Brooke. All right, she's about to skyrocket to the. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the match is okay. Cora is good. She had to slow down at one point in time for this girl to do her fancy little cartwheels. And she did them too much, and then she does it just enough to make you go, gosh, I can't wait till somebody catches her with a clothesline. Please catch her with a clothesline. Well, eventually, they catch her with that clothesline, and it is good. Jordan gets her chances at some spots there, and they don't make it a squash. But after the match, Cora wins, of course, with a weak DDT, might I add. But she's going to go get the stick and come back in and do a little damage with the kendo stick. And then, of course, Dana Brooke jumps in there and stops it. And, of course, the excitement just goes off the roof there. After that, you've got Dragunov doing his promo and letting everybody know that he's going for the belt. He ain't playing, Dragunov is good with a stick. So good little spot for him, but what that's leading into, though? It's leading into that number one contenders match that Braun just automatically assumes is his, and Dragunov is trying to prove that he deserves to be in that spot that he's in. And we'll see how it goes, because that's going to lead into the match. And the match is pretty good. There are a few little slip-ups and things in the match, but the whole storyline of this seems to be that every time Dragunov thinks that he's going to pull something off early on, Braun has scouted him. And he's one step ahead. And so they go with that for a while. And then you've got a few moves in there by Dragunov that looks like he's going to pull it off. And for a period of time, they do a exchange of suplexes, which is pretty brave. that anybody's going to go in there with the suplexes with anybody named Steiner. But anyway, they do pretty good there. Big punches, and at one point in time, Braun looks like almost looks like a shoot that just looks like at one point in time that Braun gets ticked off about something, and then he's like, really? And jumps up and is just going to throw down. And he does throw down. It looks good. Braun's punches have gotten better. When he gets angry, it looks better. Everything. He's getting there. He's getting that main roster seasoning sprinkled on him. And they both let me see what I said. Oh yeah. Dragunov does the Shane O'Mac without the garbage can, but he jumps from one turnbuckle to the other turnbuckle and does the Shane O'Mac move there. Comes in with a monster, Dragunov does, with a monster headbutt towards the end. And surprising to me, I did not see this one. I'm sure everybody's going to tell me, oh, you didn't see that. But no, Dragunov wins the match, and he is the number one contender. So congratulations to him, and it was a good match. So we'll see how this goes after that. But as I said, a little bit of surprise on my side. But then they got a little Wes Lee promo with Mustafa Ali, talking about him at least. And then all of a sudden, Dominic comes out with Rhea, and he was like, you're the dude with the open challenges, man. And then, of course, he didn't. The thing is that he didn't think that Wes would accept the challenge, and Wes is like, shh, man, let's get crazy. So he wants the challenge match, but then Dominic tells him, well, next week. So old school. And then we're going to go, let me see. They do that, and then they do a little promo with, just before the Tiffany Stratton and Ivy Nile match, they do a little promo with Baron Corbin. And classily done, we'll see where they go with that. We'll see. We'll give them a chance. Good promo. I like the little promo, though. But we go to the match with Tiffany Stratton and Ivy Nile. Now, the crowd is constantly hollering, she tapped out, referring to the Thea Hale match the prior week. So that's the theme of this whole thing, is she's getting tired of hearing it. And as far as the match goes, pretty good match. Ivy's getting better. There again, Tiffany has proven to me that she is a wrestler that used to be a gymnast. She's not there yet, but she's good. She's really, really good. And she's good with the stick. She's good in the ring. She's got the look. She's got everything. So, yep, right. I could see main roster coming up. On down the road there. But the match, as far as that goes, the match is pretty good. She wins it. Tiffany does, on the best moonsault ever. But it's the prettiest moonsault ever. But it is a good looking moonsault. It really is. So, and afterwards she gets the stick for a few minutes. And the Chase U student section really gets to her, and they have a good little hollering back at that. Now, there's some kind of mention to something that happened with Gable Stevenson and Eddie Thorpe last week, and I'm not even going into it because I just ain't going to do it. It was a good little wannabe music promo. But anyway, after that, you've got, let's see, you got Thea Hale and Duke and Andre and everybody doing a little promo, and they're hollering for a rematch for Thea. So that's what is coming up. And then, of course, after that, you're going to have the Tony D match, which is with Joe Coffey. Now, if Joe Coffey wins, Tony D goes to trial, and apparently Stacks was going to be the star witness against him. But if Stacks wins, then Tony goes free. But they've been setting up another angle. You saw it going another way, so you're expecting it to go that way, and they do the classic turn in the middle of the match. Now the match is good. They go back and forth for a while there, and they do throw a little Blair Davenport promo in there about Roxanne just before this match starts. Okay. But the match is pretty good, man. Coffee is good. He is good. And ever since he's come back from his injury, he looks great. His in-ring ability is just freaking great. And he was guiding this match. He was telling every move, I believe. Just orchestrating this match, you could say. But it is a good match. But then it comes time to pay the piper. Comes time for the big finish. And what happens? But Stacks doesn't do the finish. Apparently big clothesline, and then there's a pin. But the pin is kicked out at 2. Imagine that. And they continue on. And then they do a live call-in from the local jail. They even go, this is a collect call. If any of y'all ever gotten one of those phone calls, oh my goodness, that was just funny. I was falling over. It was absolutely hilarious. So we had the turn in the match. And the prepaid call went through, and Tony starts gassing the crowd to get up and help. And of course, Tony D is going to be justified because right towards the end, they pull an Eddie Guerrero. I love saying Eddie Guerrero, Latinoid. But Stacks does. It goes and gets a crowbar from the corner, and he hits Coffee. And then Wolfgang jumps up in there. And he throws the crowbar to Wolfgang. And Wolfgang, of course, catches it. And then Stacks falls to the floor and acts like he got hit. Coffee's over there hit. The ref comes in, throws them out. Stacks, bada bing, bada boom. Gets to pull some moves off. And wham, Stacks is the winner. And so next week we have the coming home party for Tony D. So the underboss pulled it off. This was a little hard to get through totally, but we got through it. Looks well. After next week we'll get through it. So we'll see the angle they take from there. They're going to have Tony turn on Stacks. Saying, hey, what was up there? But I don't know. And in this time period there, not exactly at the exact time, they show a thing on Noam Dar that he's not there. And they got like a wine bottle, like he's done taken to the wine. He's on some bench somewhere in a park, and they do that little angle, and they come back a little later with Perez and who was it? And Perez and Valentino ends up being and then it's just everybody shows up at that promo. Everybody, it's like Nathan Frazier ends up out there, just everybody shows up in that promo. But and before that they had a Ivy Now and Schism, and of course I didn't mention that Ivy Now in her coming out for her match, she was wearing a Creed Brothers shirt, and of course she's still upset that the man in the red hoodie, that doggone hoodie, came out and cost them to lose their loser leave NXT match. And Joe Gacy comes out and says that, hey, Ivy, or Ava does at least, says Ivy could join, and And Joe Gacy says, hey, it wasn't me. I was barred from the building. So another angle, a little something we can get into in that match. Yeah, and then you got Melo and Trick coming out now for the main event with Finn and Damian Priest. And this is a pretty good match. Trick surprises me. You know, he has to take the grunt of things for the first part of the match, but he gets a chance to come in after a hot tag later on, and he does some good moves. Good collection of moves together, offensive, takes a good blow and then comes back. I mean, you know, I like what I saw in Trick. Of course, now Melo is Melo. He looked good. He sells. He does everything that you could ask for. And because Damian Priest come out firing. He come out just tearing butt up, and he looks like the enforcer of the group. I mean, you know, just freaking great. But, you know, actually, to tell you the truth, you know, that may be the best I've seen Trick. You know, it may have been. I'm not, you know, there isn't a great sample size for me to go by now. I will say that. But he looked really good in this match at times. So he's closer than we may think. And of course, Finn is Finn. you know what you're going to get with Finn. So the match is pretty good. You know, Finn ends up pinning Melo in this match after a few little funny moves there that happened. You know, Dominic gets involved, a few other things, a little old school on that. But overall, good match. What you expect from this group. They carried, you know, Trick some, yes, maybe, but just a good match. Good match. So setting something up on down the road. They've still got Dominic coming back to fight Wes Lee. So they've got a few things set up on down the road. So some angles, but overall, pretty good show. B-, C+, maybe, you know, pretty good show. They're setting up, of course, getting ready for the Great American Bash. And when I was going back through some of my notes here, one thing I had to kind of speak on, and you know, just because you got all the technology in the world doesn't mean you need to use it. There was a point in Miss Jordan in the match that she was in that they do a close up on she's getting choked on the rope, and they get over there and the rope's nowhere close to her throat. It's everything. She's got arms up. Everything is in the way of her throat. I didn't want to see that. I wanted to see a wider angle to where I thought she was choking. Don't just, like I said, though, just because you have all that technology does not mean you need to use it. I hear a lot of the moves being spoke of in the corners or different times because they're so mic'd up good. And I know it's live. You can't, that's the catch-22 in the whole deal, but, after some of these barn burner matches and you go back and you look at some of the notes and you write down, and I just hate kind of seeing that, hey, I heard that 3 moves ahead, or I heard him say, or whatever, you didn't see that a lot back in the old days, and that was because they didn't have everything at their availability. So, and in Memphis, they were pretty modern. You had Memphis and Georgia wrestling. That was as far as Georgia. They had TBS down there, so definitely technology, but you just didn't see that. But anyway, that looks like it's going to be the review for us this week. Now I did, speak to Mr. Gardner earlier, and he told me that they had some things in the work. had a little something going on. So definitely check into them, and of course check out all the shows on this great the WWE podcast. And we'll just, I don't think I got anything else on the notes here. Let me see. No. Fin, pins, no, fin, stomach, fin, kick. Okay. No, that's it. So anyway, guys, look, I hope everybody survived their July 4th weekend. They had everything, so I hope this weekend is good to you also. And, it's the same old deal with me, guys. If you can, rescue, okay? And spay and neuter always. And you know what, guys? Hey, this is Memphis Mark, and I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.